Welcome to Formula World. I'm your host Dylan Shelley, and here's what's on this episode. First up on Formula World, Renault has no further options on Ricciardo. Many F1 experts have suggested that Renault's Daniel Ricciardo would try to move to a top team once his current contract expires at the end of 2020 in light of the change in regulations which were supposed to come into effect from 2021. However, that has now been postponed to 2022, and Ricciardo will either have to re-sign with Renault or try to find a seat in another team, hoping that they would still be competitive when the regulations finally change. Multiple-time F1 champion and Renault's non-executive director Alain Prost spoke about this situation from the team's perspective. The contract with Daniel expires, and we have no further option on him. We have several cards in our hands, but the fact that the rules remain the same for 2021 is not to our advantage. Talks with Ricciardo have always been very positive so far, and he wants to go to the top in Formula 1. On the other hand, he also likes to drive with us. Prost is unsure where Ricciardo will eventually end up, but is sure of one place that he won't end up. He's not going back to Red Bull. The team is 100% behind Verstappen, and if Daniel goes back there, he really will end up in a dead-end alley. There have been many people that have suggested Ferrari is the ideal team for Ricciardo if Sebastian Vettel is unable to retain his seat. Rumours have been swirling that Vettel has been offered a contract by Ferrari. It was supposedly of the same salary as Leclerc, which would have been a big reduction in pay, and for just 1 year. Reportedly, Vettel had turned down this contract. Now, further rumours have surfaced, and they suggest that Vettel has been offered a second contract with only the improvement being the duration, with the salary still being the same as Leclerc. But it has to be noted that all of this is conjecture at this point, and only time will tell us for sure if Vettel will re-sign with Ferrari or if someone like Ricciardo will take his place. A critical Horner and an eager Verstappen. Red Bull team principal Christian Horner has hit out again at the FIA over the secret deal they made with Ferrari in regards to their 2019 power unit. He spoke about the aftermath of this secret deal. It has left a bad taste in people's mouths. The hardest thing to deal with is the lack of transparency. He also gave his opinion on the new budget cap of $145 million. He feels that the system is flawed and cannot be enforced properly. It's a false economy, the cap, and it will be impossible to police because every corporate entity is different. Ferrari report one set of accounts for their entire business, across road cars and F1. How on earth are you going to unpick that? His driver, Max Verstappen, however, was more focused on the possible return of F1 with the opening race at Red Bull's home track in Austria. He spoke about the positives of racing in Spielberg, and he is confident of being able to fight for the world title. I always like to drive there, and hopefully we'll also get 2 races. All those people in the orange, that just remains beautiful to see. However, the most important thing is that we are going to fight for the world title, and that is why I want to go out there again as soon as possible. Hopefully in Austria, but at least I'm ready for the start. Fast feed. F1's managing director Ross Brawn has confirmed that Formula 1 is now going to start at $145 million with regards to the budget cap in effect from 2021. Louis Camilleri, CEO of Ferrari, is hoping that a budget cap will ensure a sustainable future for Formula 1 where it is economically viable for all players. McLaren CEO Zak Brown has revealed that he has spoken to former F1 champions Fernando Alonso and Jenson Button, as well as NASCAR champion Jimmy Johnson, about racing in the Indy 500 for his team. He also would not be surprised to see one of them, or perhaps several at a time, in IndyCar. He is also pessimistic about the number of possible races that could be held in 2020 and would place his bets on 14 to 15 races at 10 circuits. Andrew Green, technical director of Racing Point, is relieved that their 2020 car turned out to be much better than expected, so they don't have to worry about the next 18 months. Red Bull's Max Verstappen feels that he can at least race at the limit in sim racing, but is hoping that real F1 racing will start again soon. Ferrari's Charles Leclerc added to that by surmising that sim racing is of course not the same as racing in real life and will never be the same, but this comes pretty close. A spokesperson for the Sochi circuit has announced that they are going ahead with preparations for the Formula 1 Russian Grand Prix scheduled for the 24th to the 27th of September. They also revealed that they are ready to hold several races, provided that they are informed of a need for this in advance. F1 Managing Director Ross Brawn has also announced that everybody will be tested and will have a clearance before they even enter a racetrack, and that every 2 days they'll be tested while in the paddock once racing resumes. He also stressed on the need to create an environment that within itself is effectively a small bubble of isolation, as it won't be possible to socially distance a team. He also revealed that under the new budget cap, midfield teams in particular are going to be much better off in terms of their portion of the prize money. Formula E co-founder Alejandro Agag has announced that if they can't race in August or September that they won't race this season. And the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez circuit in Mexico has been converted into a temporary hospital to help with treating COVID-19 patients. Will Ricciardo re-sign with Renault? If not, with who? Be sure to vote in the poll and let me know what you think in the comments. And if you like this video, feel free to subscribe and check out my others for all the latest in the world of Formula 1.